Oh man, here we go. It's time for this. It's time for this. I know people have been waiting to discuss this, but what up, guys? It's your boy Kimbo, and it's time for a discussion video. That being on Beyblade Burst Superking or Sparking. Gotta give some thoughts, especially after the most recent episode, this being one of the craziest ones thus far. So, episode number 33. If you haven't seen it, you haven't heard about it, or don't know, you'll want to click away from the video. Out of respect, I'll give you guys 5 seconds to do so. Spoiler territory incoming. Out of respect, Alright, you've been warned. So, getting into it, episode number 33, that being after the Legend Festival ends and Lane gets the win over Vault and wins the Legend Festival in general. At this point, he's still an undefeated blader, which is crazy because he went from having first Uranus and possibly breaking Geist Fafnir. He didn't have Wizard because I explained it before. Fumia had Wizard, and Free didn't show up with it, so Fumia is the only known user for Wizard. So at this point, he probably still has Geist. And it's either he bursted it, or he just completely annihilated it. And I'm guessing that he annihilated it. Maybe we'll see it with a future episode and such. But getting multiple breaks, Geist Fafnir possibly being one, and definitely Glide Ragnarok, as well as King Helios and Super Hyperion. We've seen all the breaks with them, but getting to this point where he's even bursted powerful bays, that being Achilles, that being Valkyrie. Both of them in 1v1s, which has been crazy. Also, Longinus. He got the burst against Louis with his Longinus when he had Lucifer. Well, variant Lucifer. So, now, getting into it, man. The battle between Lane and Shu finally coming, man. Finally happening. Crazy showdown between the two. It was always said, he said it since the battle with Louis, that my flare is still growing, this being Lane. He said his flare is still growing. When it reaches its peak, Shu, I'm throwing it all at you, and I'm going to obliterate you with it, basically. And then he's like, that time has finally come. Also, got a chance to look at it because episode 33 has been subbed. So seeing this really led to me even making this video that much more and getting into depth about stuff. So, at the beginning of this battle, Lane actually says, World Spriggan. So that's the bay that you made to face me. So in other words, this right here even was a really big line, because it shows when Lane was training with Shu, he had Chozi Spriggan. It's not known if he had Lord Spriggan or not, because they didn't show it or anything with the flashback, so it's assumed it's Chozi Spriggan because that's the last bay that Shu was known to have in the show. So, whether it's Chozi Spriggan or Lord Spriggan, that's the one that Lane did end up facing. So it's assumed to be maybe Chozi Spriggan. And that's the one that he kind of trained with Shu, to face. And dude, it's crazy, even that line, just hearing that. So this is the first time Lane's even seen World Spriggan. So he created World Spriggan in order to counter the flare of Lane. It's kind of the same thing that Free did, except under not as crazy circumstances, because obviously if Fafnir broke, he had to repair it, But the battle between World Spriggan and Variant Lucifer, Shu versus Lane, we got it, man. Shu had a counter for everything that Lane threw at him. It was crazy. The first battle was a draw, but even with that, he used the World Spin, so the free spinning 2B chassis to completely tear out the barrier. And honestly happens in real life too. You have them face each other in the same rotation. You see Spriggan just take away that barrier so quickly. Even in real life, it happens. It's pretty cool. I love that they had that continuity, even with things with real life, and then how it was in the show. That's really, really awesome. Big props to ET. Really enjoyed that. But then as the battle goes along, obviously everything Lane does, the variant wall gets countered. Spriggan shoots up in the air. He uses the World Slash, completely cuts the barrier in half, shuts it down. Lane uses Variant Disaster, the move that he used in order to take out Vault and beat Vault. And she was not having any of it. Not one bit. So Lucifer does hit Spriggan, but it pushes in the burst stoppers, and so it didn't burst. Shocked Lane, threw him off balance big time. Just threw him off his guard, and then Counter break. He never stopped that move, man. I love it. Uses counter break in this. And bursts Lucifer, sends Lane off his feet. And then Shu tries to go over and talk to Lane, basically saying, like, Lane, I beat your flair. Stand up. Come on. And Lane's not having any of it. So you see his eyes glowing yellow. He's sitting on the ground. He's got the purple aura around him. Now he's PO'd. Now he's pissed. Like, he's upset. I know. Like, excuse my language. I try not to swear in videos or anything. You know, I'm 25. But you know I keep professional and try not to swear in videos or anything. So, yeah. But he's PO'd. I'll just say that. Lane's obviously mad. He's upset. He's PO'd. He's mad. I'll just say mad. And with that, we get, like, the end of this episode because, like, Lane just walks off. It's assumed he just walks off and such. And it's like Hikaru, Hyuga, Drum, Rantaro all sitting by the steps, and it's Vault and Shu looking out and just talking. And with this dialogue, it's basically, I wasn't able to change Lane. Shu telling that to Vault. I wasn't able to change him. And it honestly got, like, kind of sad. It was a bittersweet moment because you see them talking to each other on the beach, just looking out, you know. Kind of gave me, like, a little bit of Cho Z vibes just because Iga being on the beach and then everybody, like, bye. But it wasn't obviously everybody, you know, a little bit of that feeling. But also season 1 vibes because those two talking. But then he looks out and he's like, I wasn't able to change Lane. His flair is dangerous. He knows it's still dangerous. And Vault's like, Shu, you're acting like, you know, you're so upset even though you won. You're acting like you didn't really win. Because he technically did it. He wanted to change Lane. He wanted to save Lane and such, but he wasn't able to do so. And he thought that he could change him and make him better, you know. But then he said, maybe that's naive of me. He said that in the past. But at this point, he's like, Vault, was I wrong? You know, wanting to change Lane, try to change him or anything, and use that motive to do so, thinking that he could. And he questions himself. He's like, was I wrong? And this being the ultimate setup. It ends with that, like the fade out with those two looking out. So this getting into obviously speculation territory with things. We know what's going to be coming because we've seen the leaks for it and the images for it. That being Lucifer The End or Lucifer End. It's probably going to be a compound thing. They'll do like how they did with Big Bang. They'll probably just do The End, like compound like that. But Lucifer The End. AKA the new Lucifer, man. It's going to be a monster. Considering how strong Variant Lucifer was and could send back multiple legends, that was Lane playing around. Now he's mad. Now that he's mad, he's not going to be taking it lightly on anybody. He's going to probably still be himself toying with the blader, but he's not going to hold anything back. It's not just going to be fully burst. He's going beyond just a burst. He's trying to just break their bay, you know. But I feel like it'll be a gradual growth over time to show how his flair, even with Lucifer End, is still growing. It's still growing. And somebody's going to have to break past those limits. Because every time he has a battle, he's going to get stronger. Even more so than he did with Variant Lucifer. So definite thoughts with this. He's going to make like Lucifer The End. Like I said, the perfect way in a perfect world, in my opinion, it would be like he goes back to the snake pit. Or like he goes to the snake pit. I won't say go back, you know, but he goes to the snake pit and then it brings in these other evils and such. And that's how we get them brought back in because we still got 3 months left. I know people think that it's impossible for new releases to come at this point. It's not because we got the releases for November. There's still December and December is Christmas month. December is the month, if not the month, one of the months where they always, TT always drops the most products. Especially for Beyblade. Hands down. So I see getting a random booster next month. I see them possibly coming out with some other stuff, you know. Making this video before Coral drops for November. So no clue, honestly, right now what's going to be coming for December. But you know, Coral will show that off. Probably maybe in the next week or something. But yeah, today it's the 10th when I'm actually like filming this. So maybe it might even be like this week. But it's going to be wild, man. Hands down, I see us getting another random booster because this month, like we got a random booster last month with Achilles. And then November releases. December, they're going to drop another random booster, hands down. And maybe like another set or something. But they could bring in some other characters with this. Like I said, I know I say Phi, Gwyn, Delta basically every single video, but how are you going to build them up so much and not have them return in it? That just makes no sense to plot. And you want to put over Lane as being the ultimate, the strongest, like the craziest evil. Have him beat the former Lord of Destruction. Phi, if he comes back with a new Phoenix. Have him take out Gwyn. Literally his base based off of like the universe. Based off of a Big Bang. And he has genius level of just intellect with things. Look at all the scientific formulas he puts, literally even on the ground or such. He has the chalk and he writes it literally anywhere where he has free space, you know? And how much it took to even beat Gwyn. Have him take out Gwyn. Have him take out Delta. You know, how strong Delta is, considering in a 1v1 with Master, never lost. Big time, you know? Like, for real. Like, including them. I see them being the most credible to come back. Honestly, even if it's a rumored thing that the next random booster is going to be an attack type, I won't be surprised if it's Apocalypse. Like, this would be the perfect segue to bring it in, you know? Join this group and then have Arthur be a part of it. You know, all these former evils, like Evel, like Ashton Theodore, like Arthur, all being a part of it. And then Lane being the big one above all of it. You know, because of just his power and his flair growing on that level. If he has guidance from these evils, who's going to stop him? Literally, all these evils will have their vendettas against all these legends. But also, you not only have to deal with all of them coming back for payback, but Lane with the evolved Lucifer the End. With a limit break system gimmick. Where it'll be stronger as it battles. Like, I won't be surprised if Lucifer the End is literally the opposite of Variant Lucifer. How Variant Lucifer had the barrier that went out at the beginning and then it wears away. If it's the opposite for this Lucifer, the ultimate defense type Bay started off with some serious defense. When it loses 2 clicks, it has a new barrier. That barrier comes out when it loses the clicks. So the opponent's stamina is already down at that point. The opponent's stamina's been worn away, but then you bring that barrier in when they're weakened. It's going to take full advantage and break their bay no matter who it is. Doesn't matter if you're Free, Louis, Iga, Shu, Vault, you know, Drum, anyone. Doesn't matter. You can even attack multiple bays with it at once. It won't matter. He'll shut it down. And you know, when he makes Lucifer the End, he's going to be coming after Shu big time. I wouldn't be surprised if Shu, honestly, is his first target. Because Shu was the one that beat him. Like, he already settled the score with all these legends and such, but now he wants to show his ultimate power, and then maybe they set up another tournament. This being like the God Bladers Cup. And then they have Lane in it, they have all these legends in it, because just how the outro is, with all these legends being on a stage. Why would they put them all on a stage if you're not going to set it up for that? Be the perfect way for the season to end. Ultimate homage to Season 2. Being crazy on this level, also a little bit of homage to Season 3 because of the battles that happened at the very end, you know. All the 1v1s and such, but all of them being devastating with Lane being in them, you know, on this absolutely extreme level. And if they do have it where Shu faces off against him, like, first thing, I don't think he'll break it. I don't think he'll break Spriggan. There's no way. He won't break Spriggan, but it'll be maybe that, like, he'll burst it. You know, he'll burst Spriggan. If he does break Spriggan right, that'll be the absolute most shocking thing, and everybody would absolutely despise and hate Lane, you know. But I can't imagine them having World Spriggan break this soon, you know. Like, I could see, like, Lane beating him, maybe, like, just, you know, like, getting the burst on him or something, or even, like, just full-out KOs, and that be how it is, at least for now. And then setting it up so they have a battle, or, like, a rematch battle during, like, this next tournament in a 1v1, and anybody who Lane faces, he obliterates their bay. Like, he destroys their bay. When Lane faces you, if you lose, it's over. Like how Phi was with his dead Phoenix. You know, even how Arthur was with Apocalypse, kind of. You know, well, honestly, the Armored Apocalypse didn't even break any bays. Like, you know, just had the power to burst them. You know, but still, you know my point. Still, being on that level of Phi, even crazier than Phi was with his dead Phoenix. Anybody who loses to him, the bay gets shattered, because it's called the End. Lucifer the End. As in, anybody who faces me, it's the end for them. It's the end of your bay. It's the end of any chance or any glimmering hope that you had of winning against me. Because now he's mad, he's upset, and he's not taking any crap, and he's just going to be completely going for blood and trying to break the opponent's bay. Hands down. But yeah, we get this new Lucifer, and then imagine like these evils do come back. It'll be the perfect segue into this tournament, because with the God Bladers Cup, that's how we got Norman introduced big time, was with that, and it showed how strong he was. Also, Boa. That's how he really got Boa big time. We saw, like, I think we saw, yeah, Boa did battle with Ark Bahamut a few times before that, but then he got put in it. You know, he got put in that God Bladers Cup. So maybe something like that. You have a returning character like Arthur. Imagine Norman coming back with like a new Nemesis or something like that. These other characters coming back, like Phi coming back with a new Phoenix, Gwen coming back with a new Genesis. Like if Arthur comes back with a new Apocalypse, you know, Delta coming in with Diabolos. Even if they do it where Delta comes in with Death and Abyss Diabolos and they have Generate Dash on them, I wouldn't be upset about that one bit. Like, as long as he's in the show, you know, these characters be in the show. Because if they're not, at least in my world, like to me, it will not make Lane look as credible, because they're all extremely powerful to the point where hardly anybody's beaten them. And a lot of these legends haven't faced off against them. You know, literally Phi, out of all these legends, I think Phi he faced off against Free and Shu, and he faced off against Iga. He never even faced off against Vault. We got that battle hyped up for it not to happen. You know, that happening with Phi. With Gwen, literally he didn't face anybody else that's in this cup besides Drum. He didn't even face off against Vault. You know, and that's saying something. He didn't face off against Iga. And then Delta, same thing. Delta faced off against Iga, but it was like a no contest because Arthur came in and whooped them both. And he faced off against Drum. And that's about it. You know, didn't face off. We never saw like Delta or Vault face off, and Vault's kind of his mentor. So, yeah. It just wouldn't make sense story plot wise, you know, like storytelling wise, that they're left out of this. But yeah, and even with Arthur, like same thing. Like imagine Apocalypse taking on like these legends, like, you know, imagine Apocalypse facing off against like say Longinus. Imagine that attack battle, dude. Longinus versus Apocalypse. You know, Spriggan, Valkyrie, Achilles again, all taking on Apocalypse. Because yeah, man. I mean, he faced Iga. You know, we saw Arthur face Iga, saw him face Drum, but a lot of these legends we didn't see him face, man. Like, and we gotta see that. Like, this is gonna be the last season. It would make no sense to leave out these battles and such, and the perfect place to do it is in a tournament where there's 1v1s like how the God Bladers Cup was. All you gotta do is put those characters in. That's all you gotta do, man. And it'd be a perfect way to do so. I hope it's not just like, oh, Lane gets mad and then he surges in power and then creates a new Lucifer. You know, like, bring some depth into this big time with like the evil characters and such uniting or something like that. Not just like, oh, hey, he goes somewhere and does some special crap and then, oh, hey, bing bong boop, new Lucifer. You know, at least tie in like evils with it, you know, like former evils. Because even if he does so, like, they could even be like, oh, hey, we're just going to have him put in, like, some pool of crap. And, you know, then we got a new Lucifer because we got this tub of magical juice or whatever. Even if they do some crap like that, they have the evils around it and really tie it all together. I wouldn't even be mad at that. You know, just gotta include the old evils and then also these characters that we haven't seen that much of, because all these dream battles that can happen, especially if they get new bays like a Superking Genesis, a Superking Apocalypse, a Superking Phoenix, all of them would switch up things big time. A new Superking Diabolos. I'm just saying, like, World Spriggan literally has the gimmick of Master Diabolos, literally the same gimmick, you know, except on a crazier scale. Like, come on, man. Like I said, even if it's like Death or Abyss coming in with Generate, I wouldn't even be upset. Something like that. But you can't include like these awesome characters. Like, you can't leave these awesome characters out. You gotta include them. So, yeah, man, that's honestly my hopes for it. But hands down, this is gonna be a build to like some world destruction level stuff. Like, you'll lose, then the world loses. You know, gotta be on that crazy level. Like a flare that's so powerful that the world is just going in flames. Because literally, look at the outro. You see Lane looking over, and there's literally the moon behind him, the black sun behind him, and purple flames on the ground. That ain't a setup for like trying to destroy the world or being world destruction level power. I don't know what is, man. But yeah, that's definitely the build-up I'd want to see. And yeah, man, you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like I said, I know some people will think they're not going to bring any more characters in, Kimbo. It's impossible at this point. December, January, February. 3 months left of releases, and at this point, it's going to be a full-out dead period because we're getting evolution. I mean, we're already getting like Helios, Volcano, and Hyperion Burn. Got those evolutions for Hikaru and Hyuga's base. Lane getting his evolution with Lucifer The End. After that, what else are they gonna do? There's gonna be select people they'd even give evolutions to. Like their bays get broken, you can't even imagine. Honestly, even the only ones I could see getting evolutions like that are in this currently that aren't getting them would be the protagonists that are. That being Vault, Iga, or Drum. That's honestly about it. I don't know. I don't even know if Shu would like get a full evolution after this because Spriggan's already like a beast, you know. Like World Spriggan's, it's a beast, man, in real life and also in the show. So yeah, and also I'd say at the current moment, this current moment right now, as of episode 33, power wise, I'd say Shu's number one. Shu's number one right now. It'll be probably if there's a top 5. I had to say at this current moment. It's honestly tough because like Free and Louie, we still haven't seen them like fully showing off their power. Like they lost because of just, you know, the trickle down thing and their team not winning or stuff like that, and they got eliminated, you know. But definitely Shu and Lane being both up there. Vault as well, you know. Iga as well. And if there's a 5th, toss up between Free, Louie, and Drum, I'd probably say. You know, between those 3. The 3 big time Dragon Bladers. So yeah, that's what I'd say current ranks right now. That's why I say current. You know, it's definitely up to the subject, and then it'll switch up big time once we get more battles and such. But we gotta fully find out those ranks, man. They're all so close in power, you can't. That's the only real thing you can define just because of how the Legend Festival ended, as well as this battle with Shu and Lane. You know, that's the only thing we could tell really right now. We're just going off of the battles we've seen thus far. So, yeah, things are subject to change. Time's gonna tell, basically, with the season. So, yeah, man, but those are all my thoughts. You can put your thoughts down in the comments. Regardless, I'm really, really hyped for this, and I can't wait to see what surprises TT is going to pull out, because they really love pulling off some surprises with the end of seasons. And this season being the way it is, and 3 months left of releases, I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of surprises. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to slice the crap out of that like button down below. Let me know how I did. If you're new to my channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for some epic content, because I upload daily and it's much appreciated, man. I mean, we're on the road to 70K now. It's really wild, man. 70K. So definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, be sure to ring that bell by my channel name to be notified whenever I upload a video. So yeah, guys, until next time, it is your boy Kimbo signing off. See you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, stay awesome. And cool shoot. I'm up out of here. Also, just saying, I'm really excited for Surge. The gimmicks for the bays. Also, some of the metal, like metal being added to some of the drivers and performance tips and stuff. I'm really excited about it. So, yeah, can't wait to see what Hasbro's going to do with it. But I'm up out of here.